Hey Fabio, do you listen to the podcast?
Oh, sure.
What did we talk about last week?
Um. Uh,
Cue the intro. Fabio. Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the CARNAL's podcast. I'm your host, Tsunami.
and I'm Fabio.
Yes. As you guys can hear, we don't have El Carnal Yuri with us today. He's a really busy man. He's busy holding it down at the fair he's in. Anybody in Minnesota that can go support, a big shout out to you guys. But today with us in the house, in the studio, we have my boy Fabio, and I grew up with this guy. I saw him be shorter than 3 feet, and out of nowhere he came back from a vacation in Dominican Republic, and he was taller than me. He's somebody I look up to, and I hope you guys enjoy the episode today. And without further ado, Fabio.
Yeah. So, like Abner said, I'm pretty late bloomer, man. I remember when I was in high school, dude. Like I think I was like already junior year, and I was still shorter than most people. My voice was not even cracked yet. No, it was like sophomore year, like the summer. Like I was shorter than everybody. I had a high pitched voice, like, "Hey, what's up, dude? Man? What's going on, man?" I looked like I was in middle school, bro. And so one day I just take a trip to Dominicana, and over there, what is it, plátano con salami diet over there. It just makes you grow, bro. It makes you grow. So I came back taller than everybody, voice fully cracked, and so yeah. So for those who don't know me, I'm Dominican, and I'm currently 12. What age am I? I'm 27. 27. 27 or 28?
23, bro.
Dude, I forget. Is this the age to forget already?
I like all the listeners know, I stopped counting at 25, so I'm 25 right now. I'm really 28, so you're younger than me. So the listeners, you guys can do the math.
I think if we do the math, it's gonna add up to 25, right?
25. Yeah, I think we're the same age. But yeah, so, you said that the plátano with salami or whatever.
Yeah, bro, that's like
that helped you grow. But I think it was the chile and the jalapenos you learned to eat with being around a whole bunch of Mexicans.
You know what? Maybe that's what it was, bro. Because cuando yo llegué, when I first came here, I couldn't even eat a hot Cheeto, bro. I remember when I had my first hot Cheeto, I thought I was gonna die, and I'm not even exaggerating. Because in Dominicana, we don't eat any spicy. We have the peppers, and we send them to, like, I guess Mexico or the U.S. I don't know where they go, but nobody eats it over there, bro. I mean, it's like 100 degrees. Who wants to eat chile and like 100 degrees or for other people 40 degrees Celsius? Like, it's crazy, bro.
So you're used to the week we've been having of heat?
You know what? Not anymore, dude. I can't handle it, man. I sweat just living, just breathing. I sweat, bro. Like, no, I don't even look Dominican anymore.
Yeah, bro. It's been so hot. It's brutal out there. For all my landscapers or anybody out there working in the heat, I hope you guys stay hydrated, because it's no joke, man. I get a little breeze because I have the doors open while I'm delivering. So I get a break from the heat, but I can't imagine what it's like being the whole shift outside, you know?
Hey, yo, props to all landscapers. I did that for a couple of summers, and when I worked at the Oswego School District, man, working behind a mulch truck, hot, steamy mulch, smelling like barbecue. No, dude, you feel like passing out. Like this week, I was working with my stepdad, Salvador, on a shed, and what was it, Saturday? It was like 90 and humid, man. I feel like passing out, bro. I couldn't. Nah. Props to you guys.
So yeah, Fabio, I grew up with him since middle school. We grew up together. We were neighbors, so our moms still call each other vecinas. Like they see each other, hey vecina, vecina.
They live like miles apart.
So I feel like that's their nickname to each other, you know. Y ahorita ya everybody
Vecina.
moved out of those houses. Y it's still at
Yeah.
church, vecina, hey vecina, cómo está vecina?
We'll forever be known as neighbors.
Yeah, and it was cool growing up. Y ahí we learned we taught Fabio how to play soccer. He
Yep.
like he said he's Dominican. He's used to. You guys play baseball, right?
Yeah, we played baseball.
So it wasn't his main sport, but he tried. You know, that's something that Fabio. I see you, and you might not be the best at it, but you try it. You know.
Sure. Yeah.
That's admirable. Y ahorita, before we get into the main point, why I wanted you to come into the podcast, hey, big shout out to you and all the media team ahí at church, holding it down through pandemic, bro.
Yeah, props to the media team. You guys are doing a great job, man.
Mira aquí ya, mira.
Oh, sorry, we got a crowd behind us. We got a live audience.
Yeah,
I forgot that they can clap.
Yeah, big shout out to you. Aquí, explain to us what, like, first, ahí ya they declared pandemic. They shut down the churches. We had to go live on Facebook, bro.
Yeah.
How was it? Who you were one of the persons that stepped up as what I know is we were outdated, bro.
Yeah. So the very first few months, it was difficult because the system, like many places, not even just churches, they didn't have the right kinds of system to be able to handle the streaming. And really, mainly, it was just in the audio. Because most people have iPhones now, and you can record, and it looks pretty good. But if you notice, the audio is not that good.
Yeah.
And so, the first few recordings, I'm sure if you go back on YouTube or those Facebook Lives, like, what did he say? Like, was that music or what was that? And so, yeah, we had to basically just redo our entire sound system, and we went from something that's called an analog system to a digital system. And that was with the help of Danny. I think he's been on the podcast before. So
Yep,
you guys
producer Dan. Shout out
you've
producer
listened to him.
Dan.
Yep. And so what we did is we just completely just changed mixers. We changed what's called a snake, which basically it's connections that you connect all the instruments in the stage, and you run them back to where the mixer is. We changed that to a digital one. So we went fully digital, which has a lot of benefits. It has some downsides, but there's more benefits to downsides. And then we upgraded camera system. We upgraded a computer. We had to build a custom computer to handle all the stuff. And it was a lot of work, and we had to redo a lot of things. We had to buy software. Again, we weren't prepared at first, but slowly but surely, we just started, doing it part by part. We didn't do it all at once either. We just did it piece by piece, one thing at a time, so we wouldn't feel overwhelmed. And I thank God, man, that he sent Ramon and all the other media teams.
Ramon was, I don't know, shout out Ramon if you listen to this. Ramon was heaven sent, bro. Ramon arrived to church 2 weeks before the pandemic, bro.
Yeah, dude. No, it was perfect. So for those of you that don't know, Ramon he's currently in the media team, and he's like the one who the lead for when it comes to the streaming stuff, where there's cameras and lights and the software that they use. But yeah, he stepped up right away because I was just doing all of that alone with the help of Danny here and there, and it's just a lot. And we at first we even did pre-recorded. We didn't even actually do live, so I would have to go back home and do some post editing, along with Danny doing post editing on that audio, which I don't know how he managed, but yeah, he would tell me he would pull his hair out trying to make it sound decent. But hey, and it's not blaming the musicians at all. It's just the audio equipment that we had couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, shout out to Ramon and the rest of the media team that stepped up, and I was finally able to kind of rest and step back and rest.
Yeah, bro. I think once Jenny joined the team, Jenny, my wife, and she told me like, oh, those are pre-recorded. They're not there right now. They pre-recorded them. I'm like, what? For real?
Yeah.
So hey, right now it's my first time hearing that you went home and edited, and then Danny had to do the editing too. So hey, With that being said, Aki, I about computers, and you built the computer. I hope I'm saying the good major you went into, Aki, electric engineer. Does that fall
Yeah.
into?
Yeah, no, electrical, computer and electrical engineering. That's, yeah.
And that's why I wanted you to come out here and like
Right.
talk to the listeners and anybody out there that's still in school, but still planning on what to be when they graduate. You went to college. Porque aquí in the podcast we were at the beginning, we were like, oh, you don't need college to be successful, Pero I felt like we were pushing people to not go to college,
Right.
So ahorita I'm like, I want to bring somebody that actually went to college so they can like tell us aquí what was their experience, the benefits of going to college.
Right.
So aquí tell us what you majored in.
Sure. So I actually majored in three things, but one of them was called the major, one and two of them are called minors. The major is electrical engineering, and the minor is computer science, which is programming, coding, and the other minor was mathematics, which is math. Now, if you ask me, can you still do mathematics? Oh man, dude, I forget what 8 times 6 is. Is that 42, 46? It's somewhere in the 40s. Like they said, if you don't use it, you forget it. But anyways, so before I get into the major, I guess I'll kind of talk about what led me to pick that major, right?
Yeah.
So I guess from an early age, even when I was in Dominicana, I remember that I was fascinated by how things worked. Every time I would get a new toy, I would play with it for like a day. Then like the next day I would take a rock and I would smash it apart. I mean, my mom didn't like that at all. And I would get grounded for all that stuff. But I was always fascinated. And I'm like, how does it work? What's inside of it? And so slowly but surely, throughout life, I was also always fascinated by science. And that's what ultimately led me to engineering. And before I did engineering, I wanted to do IT. Then I wanted to do computer programming, and then ultimately I decided to do engineering because it was the top level of all of them in a way. Like you get to learn the more specific of how things work. Now, I guess to answer the question of college and if you need it. That question can be answered in many ways, but I'll answer in the way that at least the way I see it from somebody who went to college and has worked in the real world now, and knows people who didn't go to college, and so it depends, right? Like if you like for example, fixing cars, right?
Yeah.
Then you would go to college, but it's a specific type of college. What is it? It's
UTI.
Yeah, you like auto body something.
Lincoln Tech. Oh, automotive engineering, something like that.
Yeah, like if you just want to be like a mechanic, you go to that. If you want to be a barber, you go to school. But if you want to be like an HVAC electrician, you go to trade school.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different paths, right?
Yes.
So I think for college, it really depends on what you really want to do. And you first got to figure out the path to get there. For example, if you want to be a doctor, you just cannot not choose to go to college. You have to go to college to do a doctor because you got to know. You can't just, pretend like, go cut somebody open and kill them, right? You need college. So now the real question here is, do you need college to be successful? The answer is, the quick answer is no. But I'm gonna give you the long answer, which has a lot more than no. You don't need college to be successful, but college gives you more opportunities to be successful.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
It opens more doors.
Exactly. So you can get really lucky or blessed, or some people want to say, and we'll get more specific as to what lucky is. But when you go to college, you open up more doors and you have more opportunities to be lucky / blessed and have those opportunities to earn more or do something that you love. So now, before I continue, I guess the most important thing is if you're going to go to college, you have to go for something that you love.
Yes, agreed.
You have to, no matter what. If not, it's going to be
Miserable.
very miserable. And so why do I say that? Because if you want to be successful in whatever it is that you want to do, you have to live and breathe it.
Yes.
No matter what it is. And by that I mean is, if let's just take engineering for example, just because that's what I did, right? If you want to be a successful engineer in college, you have to make that your life. Not just in school, but outside of school. You gotta all the time that you spend outside of school, it has to be towards engineering, like looking at videos about engineering, reading books, learning stuff, just thinking about it. Because the more you think about it, and the more you live it, the more natural it becomes to you, and the easier it'll be to do those things. So that's the very first thing that you need to do, is that you need to love it enough where you live and breathe it. Just look at the best soccer players.
Yep.
Do they get to be the best by just sitting around and not being on their phones and only thinking about soccer when they go to practices? No, right?
No, and ahorita to add to that, sorry if I cut your
No,
inspiration, bro.
go ahead.
I was talking to this one coach. They were saying, like, how come you see professionals doing the simplest task over and over again, you know?
Yep.
That's because they do it, pero they do it perfect. They do that perfect pass perfect. They do that perfect shot perfect, you know?
Yep.
So, así como dijiste, that word you use, it becomes a routine. It becomes natural to them, you know?
Their lifestyle.
So, así, it's, I like what you said, que you have to love it, breathe it, practice it, you know?
Yeah, and I go back to Bruce Lee on this, right? Bruce Lee, he really believed this type of ideology or idea, right? Is that don't be afraid of the man who knows 1,000 different kicks. Be afraid of the man who practiced the same kick 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Because somebody who's done a lot of things, which is not bad knowing different things, but somebody who's practiced 1,000 different things, they know a little bit, but they're not really a master at it, and they might mess it up. But somebody who practiced the same move 1,000 times, man, they're gonna get that perfect every time.
Yeah.
Like they say, don't practice until you know it. Practice until you can't get it wrong, right?
Yes.
So, anyways, back to college and engineering. Now, yeah, you have to live and breathe it. No matter how easy or how difficult it is, it becomes easier when you live and breathe it. Now, for those of you who now I'll focus mainly on engineering. There's a lot more degrees I could focus, but this is the one I did, so this is the one I know the most. But for the people who want to go into a degree like this, I will tell you that it is very difficult. It's not easy. It's very math heavy. It's very logic heavy. You have to be able to picture and imagine things in your head. And that's not to discourage you if you're not good at those things. It's just to encourage you to get better at those things.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that know me might say, oh, Fabio, he was always an honor student, smart in school and got A's. But believe it or not, I actually didn't start getting good grades until junior year of high school. Before that, I used to be a straight C's, B's, and D's, and middle school was like F's.
Yeah.
And really, I don't know, one day, and this is to the glory of God, is that one day I was just doing my homework, and out of nowhere, like, things just started clicking. And then I realized why things started clicking is because I took the time to learn the basics. And when I learned the basics, suddenly what was difficult became easy. Because I lived and breathed the basics, everything else was easy to learn, you know? And or at least I'm referring to it in math, but that could be applied to it in anything. So, yeah, engineering is difficult, but it is doable. And you don't have to be super smart to do it. You just have to be very dedicated to it. That's what it takes.
What about, so you know coding and programming and all that?
Yeah. Engineering, you get to do, or at least electrical engineering, right? There's different ones. There's mechanical, there's biomedical. There's a lot of different type of engineering, but at least in electrical slash computer engineering, you do have to do programming with computers, which is basically writing code. So if anytime you use a program in any computer that does anything, behind that there's literally millions of lines of code and different, it's called syntax and stuff that makes it work.
For all the people that are wondering what he's talking about, if you lived in the MySpace era and you fixed your profile picture and you had to do all those codes to fix up your page, make it look cool, that's basically
no, you're entirely right. Yeah, that's one of the branches of coding. So yeah, yeah. So I had to learn it for engineering, but I actually liked it a whole lot. That I did a little extra, and I was able to get a minor in it. And to this day, I use it in the job that I work currently right now.
All right. So before we get to like where you work at, what school did you, or anything you want to add?
Yeah, actually, there is something I want to add real quick before I lose that train of thought.
Okay.
Now, one of the best things about engineering is that what it teaches you, yeah, you learn like the theoretical and technical stuff, like what voltages and current and the relationship. But the primarily the number one thing that engineering teaches you is how to learn.
How to learn.
It teaches you how to pick the little trickles of water that are important when you're being shot at with a fire hose of water. So you could be shot with a whole entire fire hose, like if you imagine one of those firefighter water hose.
Yeah.
Now imagine all that information. What engineering teaches you is to pick out the little drips of water that are actually important. And so engineering enables you to do a lot of different things when it comes to that side of school, of technology and stuff. So and then we'll get to that with the area that I actually work in.
Yeah, Fabio, I feel like you're blowing my mind right now, bro. That's good. That's good. I didn't go to college. I wish I would have. I feel like if I would have ponerme las pilas and actually, what's the word I can say? Set my mind to it. I feel like I would have been good. But I was always the slacker. I was always the conformista. Like with C's, I tried. Como dijiste, you have to pick something you love and to do. I tried college twice. Both the times I picked them porque, like, the first time I went to college, Wabanzi Community College, I want to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Pero I was taking the classes. Everything I was learning was common sense. Like
right.
you buy more stuff as you see that you're selling. Stuff like that. So I was like, why am I here? I'm paying all the thousands of dollars to learn something basic.
Right.
Yeah, that was the first time. Yeah, I took like a semester break or a year break. Then I tried it again. For a second time, I went for auto body repair. Like whenever a car has a dent or it gets into a car crash, auto body comes into. If it's not totaled and it's fixable, auto body makes it look like a brand new car.
Right.
I only picked it because El Carnal Yuri had already done it. So I'm like, that looks fun. Let me go try it out. There was issues with the. I didn't love it. First of all, I was there. I can't say that. Miserable. We were welding. I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it. I don't know if you get me.
You enjoyed it, but it wasn't a passion.
The teacher made it worse. I don't want to get into details with that, pero he just killed my mood. Faltaba like a month or two. I just dropped the class, bro.
Yeah.
I regret it. I wish I should have finished it. Gotten my certificates.
Yeah. Real quick, since you were talking about the teacher thing, something I just kind of thought of and remembered is that the teacher actually does make a difference, believe it or not. if you have a mediocre teacher, you will get mediocre results.
Yeah.
And again, that's not throwing shades at everybody, but if the teacher lacks passion in what he's teaching, it'll make it harder on the students. And so the important thing is to always try to pick or try to. Oh, it's hard because you don't know, but if you can get a teacher that's passionate about the thing that you're studying, is always good. Now, one thing that you got to keep in mind in college is that where you really learn, it's outside of class. You learn in college by doing a lot of self studying,
Yeah.
which is very opposite of high school. But in college, you should already go into the class knowing what the teacher is going to talk about, and just use that time to ask questions that you had of when you were self studying that you couldn't figure out.
Damn, that's fire, bro. That's fire. That's good advice.
Sure.
Yeah. This teacher, cause the class was hands on like throughout the year, you know. But like the first month, 2 months, we were in the classroom, studying a book. Sadly, I would go tell the teacher, "Okay, can you come help me out here?" Once we were doing the painting and bando and all that, he's like, "We already learned this. Go to your book." So I'm like, "Aren't you supposed to teach me?"
Right.
You know, yeah. I agree. The teacher has a lot to do with the. I learned this through Jenny. Yeah. There's like there's reviews for restaurants. There's reviews for teachers.
Oh yeah, rate my
so
professor.
so
Dot
I
com or whatever.
whoever's interested in that and wants to get a good teacher that's passionate about what they do. There's reviews out there. You know.
Yep, yep, and yeah, again, teacher makes a heck of a difference. I remember, my favorite teacher of all time was actually the one from engineering, electrical engineering. His name was Vincent McGinn, but we call him Dr. McGinn because he was an army lieutenant or something. So he was very strict, man. Like he would instill fear in the class. You feel like you were in boot camp. But man, that guy knew his stuff so much. And the fact that he knew and he has so much passion, he could explain anything to a 5-year-old and they'll understand it because he was passionate about it. And so teachers make a world of a difference.
All right, and with that being said, Aki, what school did you go to? And you can.
Yeah. So, I actually straight after high school, I went to Wabanzi. Then after Wabanzi, I went to NIU. Now, to before I get into answering what school I went to, or I guess I just did, but before I get into more details, one thing that I will say is that if you're fresh out of high school, don't be afraid to take a year off before you go to college, and I mean don't go thinking, oh, 1 year then it turns into 5 or 10. No. Try to keep it a year, maybe two at most. But take a year and figure out what you really want to do, where you really want to go. Now, if you have two options, you can go to community college right after high school, or after you finish high school, or you take your break, or you can go straight into university. Now, if you got a lot of scholarships and you apply for a lot of grants, and you can afford to go straight into university without really paying much, go for it, right?
Yeah.
But if money is a hard thing to come by, then don't be afraid to go into community college. A lot of people think, oh, community college, it's not real, or it's not the real university, it's not a real school. Now, you learn the same things you learn in a university. Literally, a lot of community college professors literally come from university. They do half of the day in university and the other half they do at a community college. It's the same professor, the same books, the same stuff you learn, at a cheaper rate.
Yep.
It's yeah.
That's what community colleges are known for, to get your associates at a cheaper price, and then
Yeah. So to get all your gen eds out of the way, so like your English, math, chemistry, all the ones you have to do, foreign language, get them out the way cheap. Why pay a lot to do something you can do cheaper, right? Then after that, which usually takes about 2 years, depending on if whether you go full time or half time, then you transfer to university. That could be anyone, any type that you want. Now you may think, well, Fabio, well, I don't know, because my what SAT scores, or what do they got now? That's the SAT.
SAT. With COVID, I heard that they don't do it no more, and I don't know if it's required for colleges.
Oh, okay. So then maybe
Pero
that changed. But if it ever comes back to, or comes to the point where it is, again, you have what's called a placement test
yeah,
in community college, and they'll place you where you need to be. And don't be afraid of the results you get, because say you get placed low in math, that's fine. It means you just gotta work your way up. But you're not getting placed in somewhere where you don't know, and you'll just spend the whole semester confused, and you either end up failing or barely passing to the next class where you even be more confused. That's what the point of a placement test, to place you right where you need to be, to learn the very basic things first before you get into the more advanced. So then after you transfer out, you go to the university. Now here's the thing that a lot of most people don't do, is the first thing is, if they can get FAFSA, they go for FAFSA and get loans. And if they can't get FAFSA loans, they try to get private loans. That's nice, but wouldn't it be better if you go to university without having to owe any money at the end? Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to do that?
yeah. Bro.
And here's the trick, man. There is
Take notes. Take notes.
there is thousands upon thousands upon thousands of scholarships out there, man, and grants. Rich people have to donate their money because it helps them on their taxes.
Yeah,
And so where do they donate a lot of this money to?
scholarships.
Scholarships. I mean, some of them go to like charities and other stuff. Yeah, fake charities that the money comes back. Well, yeah, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
But a lot of them, genuine ones, they donated to for colleges and grants. And the thing is that sadly, a lot of people nowadays, and me included, I'll put myself out there. I'll be throwing myself under the bus, be the first one. We're lazy to apply for them.
Yeah.
And so they miss out on them. And a lot of them, they don't even go used. Like if you just go to your university's career center, and you got to be diligent about everything and invest time. If you just go to the career center and ask about, hey, your counselor or whatever, or your financial advisor, hey, what kind of scholarships are they offering and which ones can I apply for? Literally, she'll give you a whole list. And Pepsi is always giving stuff off for $1,000, for $250, for $500, for $2,000. Now you're thinking, oh man, well, $250, that's not a whole lot. But say you do 10 of them, what's $250 times 10? 2,500, right?
Yeah.
If I did math right, nobody take it to calculator. Just believe me. So so they all add up eventually, and they're not all 250. Some of them will be 1,000. Some of them might be in 2,000.
Yeah.
And it just takes work, and like anything, hard work pays off. Now there's certain shortcuts you can take. Like if you write a really good an essay, because you have to write essay as to why you want that scholarship and what have you done. If you write a really good one, all you got to do is just change it around a little bit for each and every one of them, copy paste, and you already have like 10 of them, but and just send them all out. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just have to write a couple, maybe 1 to 3 really good ones to describe different things, and you send them all out. And because not a whole lot of people apply for them, you have a pretty good chance of getting them, especially, and this is another key part, if you're involved in the community. And if you get good grades too, so don't think that you can just do college without getting good grades.
Yeah.
Get good grades. If you can get 4.0 GPA, that's even better. And again, it's not about who's the smartest, it's about who works the hardest.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just just apply.
Well, aquí with the scholarship, there's I forgot where I heard it. I think somebody was talking to Jenny. I don't remember, but they were like, yeah, there was this somebody gave money for a scholarship. Only 2 people signed up. Mm-hmm. So or one person. So they didn't have to do a drawing or anything. They just gave it to, I think it was her. But yeah, nos dijo, this happens all the time.
Yep.
A lot of people are lazy to do it. A lot of people think, oh, all these people are signing up, so they don't even bother to do it. Y también nos dio un example, like a lot of people go for the small amount scholarships with the small amounts porque they know como que they set their standards,
set their bars high.
Low. So
Yeah, yeah,
they don't
loan, my bad.
apply for the $1,000 loan, for the $2,000 loan, because they
Mhm.
like right away they put themselves down. I'm not gonna get it, so I'm gonna go for the $100
Mhm.
one, for the 250, for the $500 one.
Yeah.
Pero not knowing that everybody has that same mentality.
Yep.
So you're, instead of going versus 50 people for that $2,000 loan, you're going versus $2,000 people for that $500
Yep.
loan.
Exactly. And yeah, dude. You in life, and I'm gonna add a little. I really like what you said about the set the bar part. In life, there's something that I've learned. You will always, you will always hit, or not always, but you will never hit higher than where you set your goal at. And this is what I mean by that. For example, if I set my bar low, I will always hit low because my bar's already set low.
Yeah.
I will never do anything bigger if I'm always aiming low. Like if I always try to go for, I don't know, like you said, 250, I'm never gonna get 1,000 because I'm not even aiming at it in the first place.
Yep.
But if I'm always aiming for high, eventually I'm gonna hit high. It's like a dartboard. If I don't aim at the board, I'm never gonna hit the board.
Yep.
But if I'm aiming at it, if I shoot 20 times, at least one of those 20s is gonna hit it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So that's in life. You always have to aim high. If you aim high, you will always, not always, but you will have a better chance at actually hitting something high. So always have high goals, whether it's, I don't know, starting your own company or whatever it is. Always aim high and you will eventually hit.
I got the name of the episode, bro. Aim at the board.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
That's a good one, bro. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about where you went. How was the process? You talked a little bit about how it was, pero like start to finish, if you can summarize it, or
I'm gonna give my experience. Everybody's experience.
yeah, your
Yeah,
experience.
everybody's experience is gonna be different. Believe it or not, man. Earlier when I mentioned luck and I would bring it up and blessings, that has to play a lot with it. And that's not to discourage nobody, but for me it was actually a blessing from God.
Yeah.
And this is why. When I was in high school, there was this program called the Dunham Academy, where you could do college classes while you were in high school. And I was also in Family Focus. I think that's still around. So
I think so. Yeah.
yeah. So in the Dunham Academy, I was that summer when I was in Dominicana, when I had the growth spurt. There was this lady who kept calling my mom, like a concert lady from there, kept calling my mom, telling her to sign me up for the Dunham Academy. Me being the shy person I was back then, and again, I always aimed low because of low self-esteem and stuff, whatever. I didn't really believe that I could actually do it. I'm like, nah, I don't want to do it. But for some reason, this lady kept insisting. And again, keep in mind, I didn't have the best grades. I wasn't even the top 10% of the smart people in my class. But somehow, she kept insisting. And so eventually I'm like, you know what, fine, I'll do it. And I did it. And at first I thought, like, how am I going to do college classes when I'm in high school? Dude, I barely know how to do, algebra, bruh. So I just, just did it and slowly but surely just started learning. And because of that, at the end, to my surprise, I didn't even know about that. They actually gave me a scholarship to go to Wabanzi. All I had to do was apply for FAFSA, and whatever FAFSA they didn't cover, they would cover. And that's just a blessing from God. I didn't even know about that. I wasn't even looking for that. I was just doing it because I would get a little advanced when I was in high school. Another thing too is that while I was in Family Focus, I'll be honest, when I was in high school and I would get home, and not to get sad or depressed, but I would basically be home alone all day because my mom would work second shift. So instead of just being bored home alone all day, I would just go to Family Focus and hang out with friends.
Yeah.
But there, it was a good place to do homework, so I would always do my homework there. And And because of that, I was always able to keep my grades up. And without me really trying or realizing, again, this is all God, they saw that. I mean, they saw that I also goofed off a lot, but they saw that and they wanted to also give me a scholarship for college. And because I already had one from Dunham, I denied it and let somebody else have that. But the point of that is that, again, it comes about blessings and luck. But the more things you do, the more you put yourself in a position to be blessed or to be lucky. You see, if I would have not done the Dunham thing, yeah, maybe I would have gone with the family focus. But if I would have said no to both, where would I have gotten that from?
Where do you think you would be without those two things,
Well-
those two programs?
Well, I probably still would have gone for the degree, right? But I would have been in a lot more debt. People normally come out of university owing $90,000 of debt. I came out owing $25,000, which is like a car. Now, to some that might be a lot, but really, in the grand scheme of things, is not a whole lot.
For masters,
No, I got a bachelor's.
for a bachelor's.
Well, a
it's
bachelor's
not-
and 2 minors. So yeah,
It's not a. It's
yeah.
it's a steal, bro.
Yeah, keep in mind that I think a per semester, now is like 8,000.
Yeah.
So that in 3 semesters, you're basically there. That's crazy. That's a year and a half.
Yep.
24,000. So that's crazy. But again, thanks to God, glory to God, and just all those wonderful organizations that are out there, I was able to get there without having to owe a lot. So again, just put yourself in a place to be blessed and to be lucky by doing a lot more things. Get involved. Just don't be at home, don't just be at home doing nothing. Just community, surround yourself with people who motivate you to be even bigger and better. That's an important thing.
Yep.
So, did I answer your question? What was the question?
Oh yeah, the
again?
process.
Yeah. The process. So
yeah, that was high school. Yeah, you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then I went to community college. There I just did classes and I learned. And I went to Wabanzi. I learned a lot more. Then right after Wabanzi, I did a year and a half at Wabanzi because remember I had done half a year in high school. So then after that, I went straight into NIU. I transferred. And what NIU does is they take your credits from Wabanzi, the classes, and they transfer those and they'll discount them off their what do they call it? Their path. So every school for a degree has a path, meaning you have to do these certain classes to get that degree in certain amount of hours per semester.
Yeah.
So that's when you go to community college, they'll take those same classes and they'll subtract them from your path. So you have to do less classes. So with that being said, it's very important that you know what college you want to go to or what university you want to go to when you're in community college. That way you know what classes to take in community college so that they count towards your path in university. For example, if I go to community college and I just take a bunch of English courses, gen eds, but I'm trying to go into engineering, yeah, I got my degree of associates in Wabanzi, but I didn't do a lot of the required classes for engineering. Okay. So now I'm going to have to do more work in university. So make sure that you look at the path that you have to do and try to see the path that you have to do in university and try to see if you can find the equivalent classes in community college and do them there for cheaper.
Life hack.
Yeah.
So how was it going to a big university like NIU? Were you involved or was it just schoolwork or
So okay. So before I answer that question, Wabanzi was a much smaller school, and so because things are smaller, you get a lot more one-on-ones with professors. But once I went to NIU, it was a lot bigger. You're in a lecture hall with 100 people at once in the class, and it's really hard unless you sit at the front and you're always raising your hands. It's really hard to get one-on-ones with the professor.
Yeah.
So again, it's a lot of self-studying. But the one thing or process that I did in university is that right after class, I found people to be friends with. And it'll be easy in college. If you're shy, don't worry. There's more than likely, if you're shy and you're doing some kind of shy, like a degree that has shy people, everybody else is going to be shy and they're going to be like you.
Yeah.
You know, the same, it's weird. The same degree draws the same personalities.
Yeah.
So I made a bunch of friends. And we would all hang out and we would all have study sessions, and that's how I kind of got involved. It's just yeah, I went to class and I did my classes, I did my things and my certain hours, my certain things. But after class, I would stay and do homework with them, hang out, go to B-dubs and Chinese and all this stuff and study and work on projects. Sometimes I would be to school from 8 a.m. to midnight just working on stuff. But also, granted, 8 of those hours I was also hanging out with people. And I mean, again, surround yourself with people who are going to help you. Don't also like make friends that are bad influences, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I did my, classes. Definitely go to your professor's office hours. If you want to get a good grade in the class, go to the professor's office hours. Because number one, it gets your name really known to them. Two, they'll see that you're trying and they'll be more lenient when they grade your stuff. Trust me on that one. And three, and I know that from experience. And three, you get more one-on-one with them and you can learn a lot more from them. And then you can get your questions answered when sometimes you can't in class because, again, there's 100 people with a bunch of questions. But always go to their office hours. They're more than there and more than willing to help. They're there. And they don't usually get a whole lot of people there either. People are shy and they think, oh, no, my professor's not going to help me. Just do it.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah, man, that's good advice. I hope the listeners are taking notes. Y ahorita I was thinking about it as you were talking. Like, this is perfect. We're getting ready for most of the youth to go back to school. Y a lot of people are starting high school. A lot of people are graduating from high school. Y a lot of people graduated last year. And like you said, it's not too late, So,
It's never too late.
ahorita, una advice I can give to the people that are starting high school, start thinking of what you want to do. Start thinking of what you love to do,
Yep.
Like you said, and start thinking of, okay, if I want to go to college, but I don't know what I love. You got 4 years to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Ahorita, the seniors have 1 year to think about it, but it's not too late, Like, find a passion of you love, something you love to do, y pursue it,
And the only way you do that is getting involved with many different things.
Yeah.
You have to try different fields and different things to get involved with it. Go volunteer at the hospital one day, or shadow a doctor, or go to a volunteer orphanage. Do like a lot of different things. The more you do, the more you'll really find out what you really want to do and the things you like, things you don't like.
And that's something in the Hispanic community que no se, like, you don't see a lot,
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know in most of the well-off communities, they take their kids, okay, let's go volunteer here, let's go volunteer there, let's go help out the shelter, let's go help out the hospital. Y ahí they take their kids, they take the youth. Y así it impacts the youth in a big way. Like, oh, I really want to help people. I'm going to become a doctor. I'm going to become a nurse,
Exactly.
So, aquí, hopefully, it works both ways. We're talking to the youth and we're talking to the grown-ups, If you guys are in charge of your kids, start doing that, Like, look up, call hospital. I don't know how it is with COVID and all of that.
Yeah, it might be a little different right now.
Call places, be like, hey, yo, I want to take my kids so they can experience or get a little bit insight of how it is, and maybe they fall in love with that. So aquí, as a Hispanic community, like, let's step it up and, like, let's get our younger generation involved. And porque we had that conversation. I forgot who I had a conversation with. Us being first time high school graduates in the United States, we had to learn everything ourselves.
Yeah.
We had to go to the person you go to
counselor.
they had a name aquí at East. You would go to your college counselor.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's the career center, the career something. I don't know.
Well, you go to that counselor that guides you on what you need, what you have left, or what, like, to fill out FAFSA. I lost my train of thought. I forgot where I was going with that. I forgot. What was it talking about?
Yeah, no, I feel you, but
I forgot.
no, it's just
trying to think of that
again,
word.
yeah, just like he said, just get involved with different things. Just talk to as many people as you can. Just get out there. Don't be afraid. And if you are afraid, just take small steps. Right, you don't have to take big steps.
Yeah.
Just start small. If you go to a church, just get involved there. If you don't go to a church, just find after school programs, activities that you like, whether it's a sport, whether it's chess club, just things just to get you out of your comfort zone. You don't have to start big, start small, but slowly work your way up, and you'll notice that you'll be doing greater things without realizing it, right?
Yep.
And so, and I say that because, believe it or not, maybe I look like it, maybe I don't, but I used to be a shy person, but slowly just doing things got me out of my comfort zone. Like, for example, like, I'll be honest, this podcast stuff and video, oh man, like I this is my weaker area. Like, I could stand in a crowd of 100 people and talk about anything, but this kind of stuff makes me nervous. But I do it anyways because it gets me out of my comfort zone.
Yeah. Yeah, we when I told you, like, hey, you want to come on and talk to the people or to the listeners, you were like, you were doubting yourself, like, nah, I'd rather not. But yeah, you're doing a good job. Like you said, you stepped out your comfort zone. You probably found something you enjoy, you know.
Yeah.
So when you make your podcast, let us know. We'll shout you out.
Yeah.
Who were ahorita? Yeah, we're getting ready to end the episode. But ahorita, who did you look up to, or who were your role models as you were in your process to becoming an engineer?
Sure. Let's see. Who were my role models? So, okay. So I'm gonna start with the most obvious one. In engineering, it's that professor that I talked about.
Oh yeah.
He knew his stuff. He was tough, but man, he would inspire you to be better. And so I remember a couple of times I kind of felt like giving up on engineering, and I'm glad that I didn't. And even if I don't actually work that field right now, I'm glad that I did it because it taught me a lot of things. But I remember that professor, and he just motivated me with the way he spoke and the way he carried himself. And he was always a motivation and influence. Now that's the most obvious. Now, maybe not so obvious one would actually be my mom. And so the reason is because I would see her, how hard she would work and strive just for me to have a better life. And I always say, man, I don't want to make that worthless in a way. You see what I'm saying? Or I don't want to make it seem like it was all for nothing. So in a way that motivated me and pushed me to be better now. Granted, I didn't do everything perfectly. I failed here and there. I messed up, and it's not so much about how good you do it or how better you do it than anybody else or worse. It's just about the journey and just actually doing it and completing it. And so she's the main person who I did it for. And then I'll be honest, in the way I never really did it for myself. I liked it, but I always did it for that reason. Now, that's not to say that you should do your degree or whatever your parents tell you to do it if you don't want to do it. She let me decide, but I'm saying the path of me wanting to become better. You know what I'm saying? You get where I'm going from here. It's not encouraging people just to do something because somebody wants them to do it.
It was like that extra push. Like I'm gonna finish it for her. You know
exactly.
Like
that's a gift for all the hard work she did.
Because you saw how hard. Yeah, I saw it too. Like all those late hours. At her job. Hey, shout out to Vecina.
Shout out to Vecina. No, props to her, man. I'll be honest. a lot of people say self-made man, but I don't believe in a self-made man because nobody can make themselves. You are made by the people who raise you and the people who look out for you. You know,
Yeah.
first of all, God. You can't be anywhere, be anything without God putting you there and leading you there, or taking you out of there, right?
Yeah.
And then your parents or whoever,
Influences.
whoever was a good influence on you, and even the
Yeah.
bad ones because it teaches you what not to be,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So
So ahorita yeah, where you graduated, you got your bachelor's. Do you practice uh, electrical engineering or where are you now?
I actually work in what's called networking consulting and networking engineering. It's not exactly electrical engineering, but you can kind of call it like like a cousin or like a sister of electrical engineering. Now, remember how I said that electrical engineering opens up a path to do many things?
Yes.
So while I did electrical engineering and computer science, I got to learn the things I needed to do what I'm doing now. Um, so again, electrical engineering opens up a path for you to do many things. I did engineering. I love it as a passion, but I decided, you know what? I like it, but I don't know if I actually want to work this because for many reasons, and as you do it, um, you know, you realize, yeah, maybe I want to do this, but this degree also lets me do this other thing that you know what, I didn't know about that, but that I actually like that more.
Yeah.
Oh, which, by the way, real quick, don't be afraid to change careers in the middle of college, especially in your earlier years. Is not a wrong thing to do. If you suddenly halfway through you're like, "Ah, that's not my thing," don't be afraid of change. Even if it delays it a little bit longer, it's better to be in the end. It's better to be somewhere where you want to be than to be miserable. But anyways, yeah, I did electrical. I loved it to the very end. At first, it was hard to get a job, and the only way I could get a job is if I would have moved. But at the time, I couldn't move, so I didn't get the job offers, and so eventually I got a job in IT, and I realized, oh, this is actually kind of cool too,
Yeah.
and I love it, and that's what I work right now.
Yeah, it goes into what we talked about in the beginning. I you worked in IT for a school district.
Yeah.
We don't have to say what school district, but it was were you guys or were the systems outdated? Were you guys prepared for the transition or
Transition of COVID or
uh-huh
current.
quarantine?
I don't think no school district was prepared, bro. It caught everybody off guard. But were the system outdated? It wasn't too outdated compared to what you see in some places. It wasn't the best because with something a lot of school district are lacking is it's keeping up on what's called security,
Yeah.
like against hackers. A lot of them still worry a lot about budgets and money for obvious good reasons, right? Because it's all government funded and paid by taxes.
Yeah.
But slowly but surely, they're gonna have to start getting more involved with security. So from a security standpoint, against hackers, it wasn't the best. It was decent. It was good, but it could have been better. And that's not to throw shade at the school district or anything like that, because a lot of them are in the same boat. But it's just with time, it's just going to slowly get better,
Yeah.
hopefully. Um, and were we prepared for the COVID quarantine? I can't say we were fully prepared for it, but because of quick actions that were taken by my boss and everybody else, we were able to get set up uh, at a pretty decent pace where everybody had a laptop, a webcam, and they could teach from home. And all the kids had devices. And not a lot of school districts got that chance. A lot of school districts, some of the kids didn't have hotspots or computers, or some of the teachers didn't have webcams. So, yeah, not prepared, but we were able to catch up real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy. Like you would see what at the beginning of all this, you would see kids that would be outside the school just to get Wi-Fi, be
Oh
outside
yeah.
of this business just to get the of this McDonald's just to get the Wi-Fi. You know?
Hey, and shout out to Comcast. And, they may not be the best, but
Yeah.
at least they stepped up and gave everybody free Wi-Fi. Like if you had if your neighbor had like a Comcast router, they open up the Xfinity Wi-Fi, so anybody who can be in range of it could use it, which was cool. We can get more into the security, whether it was secure or not, but that's not the point of it. The point of it is kids who didn't have Wi-Fi
Hey, I didn't know
could
that.
have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, big
Yeah,
shout out to Xfinity for doing that.
yeah,
Or Comcast.
yeah.
It's the same
Comcast
thing, right?
Xfinity. Yep, yep. There. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Before we ended, anything you want to add? I feel like ahorita I was thinking about it. I feel like I flew over your current job. Anything you want to add to that or?
I mean, I don't work for the school district any longer. I work for a private company. Meaning we work like for just different. It's a consulting company. We service a lot of different private companies, like ones who do a law firm or other companies who do like manufacturings of different stuff, and we just keep their systems secure and updated. That I like it. It's nice. You get to work somewhere different every day. The only downside to it, and it's not too bad because it makes up for it because sometimes you're down, but downtime is that you have to sometimes work late hours
Yeah.
because you can't update computers when everybody's working. You have to do it either at night or you got to
Okay.
work on a weekend, do some 3 hours on a weekend. But it makes up for it, right? Because if I work 3 hours on a Saturday, that means I can leave early Friday, the next Friday, right? 3 hours
Okay.
early,
Okay.
right?
Oh
If
yeah.
I don't have anything else to do or so it's called flex time. They're flexible, and usually a lot of companies are like that.
There you go.
So
You said at the beginning, it opens doors to jobs like this.
yeah,
Because if you choose the path of not going to college, it's rare to find a job like that.
yeah. It's harder, right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't go to college, you're gonna have to learn all those things on your own. You're gonna have to work harder for it. It's not impossible, but you just have to work a lot harder for it, right?
Yeah.
And college is just like a quick, or not a quick, but a path that you can do to get you there. Um, so yeah.
All right, that's good, man. I really enjoyed this episode. Anything you want to add? Anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to share about that we didn't talk about?
Um, on top of my head, I can't really think of anything, but just to recap everything, whether you should go to college or not, just remember in life, you just have to work really hard. Don't take the easy route because sometimes the easy routes they lead to dead ends, right? Or you set yourself up for failure at the end. Work hard, and the harder you work, the more you put yourself in a position to be blessed/lucky.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was gonna say any advice to the listeners listening, but I think you basically said it. Or anything you want to add?
One more. It's never too late. No matter how old you are, it's never too late. Why? Because when I was in engineering, I had people my age, but there was people in there who were 50 and 60 years old. Crazy, bro. Yeah, like when I saw that, I was like, whoa. Like you hear about it, but until you see it, it's crazy. So it's never too late. If you're hearing this and you're like 40s and you're working a job you don't like, dude, again, it's how hard you work. Even if every day you gotta sleep 6 hours instead of 8 and spend those 2 hours studying or working on something, do it. Just do it. It might be hard now, but it's gonna pay off at the end. It's never too late.
Nah, yeah, bro. I'm about to go sign up for a couple of classes right now.
Hey, do it, man.
Nah, yeah, I actually been thinking about it. Ahorita I feel like it'll be a good time to try to think about what I want to do. Porque I'm como dices, I chose the not to go to college path. I mean, I tried it, pero.
Right.
I'm blessed to have the job I have porque it's good money. I didn't have to go to college for it, pero again, I got lucky, blessed.
Yeah.
I found this job, you
Yeah.
know.
And again, like, the college path is not for everybody. I will say that. If you feel like it's not for you, and no matter how hard you try, you just can't really do it, that's all right. Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel like you're useless. That's not true. Um, um, just do something though. Don't just stay where you are in the comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone and do, whether it's trade school, whether it's, you know what, I'm going to open up a restaurant. Or I'm going to, I want to have a business or whatever it is, a landscaping, just whatever it is. I guess the takeaway of this is not so much go to college, but it's always aim high and you will more than likely hit high.
There you go. Yeah, man. Shout out Fabio aquí. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I hope you guys got something from the episode. Y ahorita, any shout outs? Any shout outs you wanna, unos saludos, anybody listening?
Yeah, shout out to all the ICA family and everybody ICA. That's Iglesia Casa del Alfarero. You guys probably know from all the other past podcaster who shout out them. But shout out to them, everybody. Them, everybody. La familia mía en Dominicana, ya, tú sabes. Everybody from Dominicana or Dominican listeners, shout out to all of you. And yeah.
Yeah, you don't have social media, but if you want to plug in your social media, where they can find you.
You know what? What is it? I honestly don't do social media. I do have Instagram. Hold on, where's my phone? My Instagram. You guys ready for this? Well, hold on. It's like Fabio's. Wait, what is it? Oh yeah, here you go. My Instagram is, and I only have 2 pictures, but hey, you're more than happy to follow me and send me messages if you have any questions about anything. It's _Fabio _Jimenez _ and Jimenez, that is JIMENEZ, and Fabio as an FAB as in boy IO.
Yep, yeah, we'll make sure to tag you on the Instagram.
There you
it can
go.
be easier for them to find you. Pero sí, thank you for coming aquí.
Thank you for having me.
Speaking some knowledge into the listeners. Did that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I feel like
long day at work, man. I get it.
No, I feel like never mind. I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, man. Thank you. Ahorita, before we end the episode, I hope she's still listening. I want to send a shout out to Jocelyn. She's new to the Carnales family, so
nice.
And she's been catching up on the episodes. Hey, not just to Jocelyn, any new listeners listening right now, welcome to the family. I hope you guys enjoy the episode. Hey, you go catch up on the other episodes. I hope you guys enjoy them. And we're here every Friday. Fabio, this is not the first time this is not the first and the last time. Can't talk right now.
It's my first, but it won't be my last.
Yeah, there you go. The doors are open whenever you want to come and just have a conversation or have a topic to talk about. Hey.
Yeah, there's plenty of things we can talk about. I mean, sports, out of my league. That's like the only thing I can't talk about. It's Chinese to me, man. But I can talk about a lot of things. So yeah, just whenever you want to bring me on the show again, I'm more than happy to come.
Yeah. Y aquí ya, you're a carnal. You're a brother to me. Like I said, we grew up together. It's a pleasure to have you. I know you wanted to be on, but he's busy, man.
Hey, next time, man.
But yeah, man, I hope you guys, anything else, before?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Well, yeah, it's never too late, and aim for the, aim high.
Yeah.
There you go. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have a good weekend. God bless you guys. And you want to send us off?
Yeah, what do you guys do for send-offs?
I mean, you just usually says, call your moms, call your dads, hang out with your brothers, but you can say whatever you want. You want to send us out in the Dominican accent?
Okay, está bien. Spanish? I'll do it Spanish. I hear for the Spanish speaker. Okay. Para todos los que ya están escuchando y ya se van a desconectar, tengo una semana buena. Coman, just eat your meals, coman su plátano, su tortilla, lo que coman. Stay hydrated, manténganse hidratado ahí para que no se me deshidraten. Todo lo que están en landscaping para allá. Y como siempre, aim high.